Hello. So it's been a while since I've made a video, and it's mainly because I made my last one thinking that I was going to get back into the rhythm of it, and then my computer blew up because of a power surge, which was just great. But I've got all that sorted now, have my new computer, and I'm back here to do more videos. I tried fixing my hair, but it was fine before I started filming. I tried to fix it, it just got worse, and now it's this, so just one sec. Is that any better? I just bucket hat it, just 5 head. Alright, well, I'm bucket hatting it for this video. So, we're back on the videos that I meant to put out in December, and I'm putting out now. So,
Ho ho ho! I bet you thought you'd seen the last of me. But no, I'm back.
No, only joking. I'm gonna be the one making this video, not Santa. So, let's travel back to the week of Christmas 2020. And I was going to my cousins who live in hot rural Australia. So for the trip, I brought the essentials. Baby Yoda, my Mamiya RB67, my Olympus XA, my Polaroid 600, and a bunch of film, which included a box of Ektar 100 that my best friend got me for Christmas. So very thankful for that. So while we were driving up there, we did stop at a tree, which I thought was really cool. So this is also where I took my one and only Polaroid of the trip, because I definitely thought I'd be shooting more, and I just didn't. Now, I didn't really get any footage of the next stop, but it was basically just a petrol station and then a little lake that I found just off to the side when we stopped. So I went to go take the photos while we went to fill up the car. And I'm actually really happy with how these turned out. I think Ektar actually portrays these landscapes really nice. Apparently Ektar is meant to be a landscape film, so I guess it makes sense, but still, I'm happy with the colors. It's definitely a little bit different to portrait. Kind of similar, a little bit different, but I like it. So then we kept on driving and went to my aunt and uncle's place, where we had a nice dinner. Didn't really get any footage of that because we were just sort of hanging out as a family. And then after that we went to the motel where we were staying. Although, at dinner, me and my uncle did start talking about photography and film photography because he's actually a photographer, and he offered to show me around the area the next morning. So the first stop that he wanted to show me was this abandoned wine cellar factory. I don't think it's called a factory, but I thought a cellar is something that goes underground. But I mean, it wasn't a vineyard, but I don't know. But it was abandoned and it sort of collapsed, you can see here. So after we walked around this area and took some pictures, we then drove off and wanted to look for some other spots that might make some cool photos. We then came across this abandoned shack, which I just love the texture. It's just something about decaying wood is just... And then we went past this little cottage that I absolutely adored, and when we went past it, I wanted to stop there, so we did a little turn, and I hopped out, went to start taking a photo. And the reason why I liked it was because I thought it would make a nice picture, especially on Ektar. Had some nice horses in the front, the sign looked really nice, and I thought there was a picture here, so I wanted to sort of at least have a look and see what I could get. But while I was looking through my viewfinder, I hear a voice that just says, "Hey, why are you taking photos?" And I didn't see anyone when I heard that, and so I was a bit confused, but then I saw a farmer start coming to me from where the cottage was. So while I was walking, he sort of half shouted and asked me, "What are these photos for?" And I smartly said, "Oh, they're not really for anything." And so his reply was, "What do you mean they're not for anything?" So luckily I saved it by saying, "Oh, I mean, I just like horses. And I'm just here on a family sort of holiday, just sort of taking photos of the area, and I liked the scene." Pretty good, right? And luckily he seemed to calm down a bit, and then said, "Oh, well, if you just like horses, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure you're not one of those animal activists who are trying to see what I'm doing with my animals." And that sparked a bit of a red flag in my head, and I kind of wanted to just get out of there at this point. So I said, "Yeah, I'm sure you treat your animals great." And we said goodbye. I went to my uncle's car, we drove off, and then we went home. Now, I'm sure the farmer guy's not doing anything bad with his animals. It was just the whole interaction was very odd, and it makes sense, I suppose, because it is, I guess, sort of a small town, and there wouldn't be many people either walking around this area, let alone stopping to take photos. So it would be kind of weird for someone to just be standing there taking photos. I get that. However, I hope that guy's not doing anything weird with his animals. Anyway, I love how the photo turned out. I think it looks great on Ektar. The greens really come out, especially with the reds too. And now I have the story attached to it. But after we left the farmer, who hopefully loves his animals, we then went back to their place, had a nice family lunch, and then went home. And we stopped at this place here because, I mean, I had to take this photo. And also stretch our legs. But I do have to admit, for the sake of transparency, and I'm sorry, but I loaded a roll of Portra 160 into my RB67. I know, I'm sorry. But that's what that photo was just taken on, and I think it looks great. But I felt like I wasn't really going to be taking many more photos, and I wasn't sure how the Ektar would turn out, and I wanted to just try some Portra. So I'm sorry. Now you may have noticed that I haven't talked about the Olympus XA at all, and that's because I think I took 3 photos on it, maybe even 2, mainly because I realized while I was trying to shoot this that I hate shooting 2 formats at once, trying to shoot 35mm and 120. I felt like medium format would do justice to these landscapes, and I also had Lomo 800 loaded in my XA, so I didn't really feel like shooting super bright, sunny landscapes with the Lomo 800 was going to work that well. But on that, I figure I should probably talk a bit more about Ektar and my experience. So I do like it. I think the colours can be a bit hit or miss. Most of the time I would get the nice teal skies that Ektar's known for, but sometimes I would get weird, super deep blue skies, and whenever that would happen, my scans would just look like garbage. Now maybe it's a scanning issue, but I think it's more to do with the exposure, because I've seen a lot of other people's photos have a similar thing, and personally I just think that it looks like arse, and I've never had this issue with Portra. So, not that it's a Portra versus Ektar video, or you should really compare them that much, even though they are kind of really similar. I think when Ektar goes well, and you don't have any color issues, it does look really nice. But I also think that most things that I personally would be shooting, I'm gonna stick with Portra on. So far. I do have the rest of the box that I haven't shot yet, so I will get around to shooting that, and maybe I'll change my mind. But personally, at least for landscapes, I will be sticking with Portra. But I do also want to say that Ektar's not just a landscape film. I've seen a lot of other people shoot it with portraits, especially with Jake Wagner, who's an amazing photographer. But if I can figure out the blue sky thing, then I'll definitely try shooting it more often. But I think I just need some more time with Ektar. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more of my work, you can go to my Twitter and Instagram, which is @migmedia, or you can go to my website, which is migmedia.com. And I hope to see you again soon.